It's official, folks. The U.S. military is sending 2,500 Marines from the 26th Marine Expeditionary Unit to Israel. But don't worry. I'm sure they're fine. Our government says they're going to be totally safe because it's not like we're sending them over there for combat. I mean, never mind the fact that we're literally dropping off these soldiers in the middle of a combat zone as rockets explode over their heads. I'm sure everything will be totally fine. It's not like we're sending all of these ships and now these Marines to get involved in this war. Even though we're sending them to a literal war zone, earlier today, the Secretary of State, who is over in Israel, reportedly had to hide in a bomb bunker as rockets started striking nearby. But I'm sure the 2,500 Marines that we're sending to the front lines are going to be okay. Nothing's going to happen to them. Our own politician that we sent over there today was supposedly not even safe in the safest part of Israel, but we're about to drop all of these young folks right on the border of this war zone, but they're going to be okay. It's safe. There's nothing to worry about. I mean, honestly, this stuff goes without saying, folks, but we're surrounded by low IQ idiots. I don't know how these people get their shirts over their heads, let alone wipe their own asses in the morning. We're sending soldiers to a war zone, yet, we're supposed to believe they're not going to get involved. We're dropping off 2,500 Marines in the middle of combat as rockets explode all over the place. But it's okay. They're not here to get involved in the fight. I guess the terrorists that are flying over into Israel on their homemade air gliders, they're going to see a U.S. soldier and be like, oh, well, you know what? We can't shoot that guy. Oh, no, that's an American. They're here for support, fellas. Hamas, fellow Hamathians, my fellow Hamas brothers, please don't shoot these American soldiers. They're not here to fight. They're not here for combat. They're just here for support. Yeah, they're supporting our enemies, but they're here for support. Let's land right next to the American soldiers and high-five them. Let's give them a hug for really being there. Like, you go, girl. You go, girl. Thanks for the support. The world does not work that way. Terrorists, all right, Hamas, Hezbollah, all of these enemies of Israel, they're going to see American soldiers and, we're not going to attack them. We're just going to attack the Israelis. That's what we'll do. Because you know what? We were told that the American soldiers are just here for support. Because that's how the world works. Okay, support. It's all about support. God, man, for the love of God. It is so frustrating when you have to live in a world full of complete idiots, man. I swear. If it wasn't for this community that I'm building over here, I would have lost my mind by now when it comes to the ridiculous stuff that we are spoon-fed and that we're supposed to believe like we're some freaking idiot Gerber babies. Like, I honestly don't know, how did we get here? Where our government can drop off thousands of troops into the middle of a war zone and then tell people, they're not there to fight in this war. They're all going to be safe and okay. Don't worry, nothing to see here, folks. And people will believe it? And make no mistake about it, Israel itself is a freaking war zone right now. It's not as bad to be in Israel as it is to be in Gaza, but rockets and missiles are constantly being fired from multiple directions into Israel. If random civilians are not safe, which we know that civilians on both sides are not safe, then why would anyone in their right mind believe that these Marines are going to be safe and okay and perfectly tucked away safely away from the combat, when the combat is reaching anyone and everyone in the area, in the region? It's so idiotic to me, and it's so frustrating that they literally just say anything and people believe it. I mean, it's like, I'm sure when these people fill their cars with explosives and drive them towards their enemies, I'm sure that they will take extra precautions to dodge all the Marines, all the American soldiers. It's like freaking reverse bumper cars. Let's make sure we don't hit a freaking U.S. soldier with our rockets. You know, my grandma, when she was alive, she used to tell me that a bullet knows no names. A bullet knows no names. I see that a lot of people must have lived some really sheltered lives to literally believe the lies that we're being told and to not be able to see through this bullcrap. Obviously, a lot of these people weren't taught lessons like me. Like the one I just said, a bullet knows no names. You think that you can go stand out here in the middle of a war zone and nothing's going to happen just because the government said that you're not here for combat? Do you know that over a half a dozen journalists have been killed since this war popped off? They're not there for combat at all, for real, and they're dying. Rockets are dropping on their head every now and then. That's the realities of war. And do you want me to Nostradamus it? Do you want me to predict the future? My prediction is we're going to send these 2,500 Marines to Israel. Something's going to happen. Maybe a half a dozen of them will get killed or blown up for no apparent reason. And then that will give America further reason to get more involved. That will give us justification to start launching missiles from our aircraft carriers and to start sending our fighter jets from Jordan to strike targets. That's my prediction. What's yours? Let me know down in the comments below. But as all of this is unfolding, Iran has flip-flopped again. At first they were saying they were going to get involved. They were going to attack. And then they said, hey, if we're not attacked, we're not going to do anything. Now, I don't know if it's because of this news about these Marines headed to the area, but now Iran has changed its position again, and now they're basically threatening everyone again. But you have to understand that we're in this period where everyone they're flexing. That's what I would call it. They're flexing. A lot of people are bluffing. They're trying to intimidate each other, trying to make people back down before real things happen, trying to make people, maybe sit down and negotiate and have peace talks before something really pops off. That's why we've been seeing both sides threatening each other, saying all of these things, but the real deal hasn't necessarily popped off yet. But here's what the Iranian foreign minister had to say today. I warned the Americans to stop the Zionist crime before it is too late instead of sending hypocritical messages. If the Zionist crimes are not stopped immediately, new fronts will be opened for them. The leaders of the resistance told me clearly that we are ready to fight the occupiers head on. We do not give orders to the resistance forces. They make their own decisions. The leaders of the resistance will not allow the Zionist regime to do whatever it wants to do in Gaza, and after it is relieved of Gaza, it will go to other resistance areas in the region. In the coming hours, any preemptive action against the Zionist regime is conceivable. We have an opportunity to stop the Zionists at home. If we don't defend Gaza today, tomorrow, we will have to deal with the phosphorus bombs of the regime in our own hospitals. So basically, Iran is saying what a lot of Americans are saying right now. Iran's saying that they need to go ahead and handle this problem, they want to go ahead and handle their enemy before the problem reaches their home soil, which is how a lot of people feel about the situation in America. You want to go over there and handle these terrorists and handle these people so the fight isn't brought to your soil. You know what I mean? But this is definitely a huge change on positions from yesterday. They're basically threatening that an attack can happen at any minute, and most likely is going to happen today. So we're going to sit by, we're going to watch as that plays out. But as of now, even I told you, you can go back in the videos a few days ago, I was telling you that I didn't think that we would be putting boots on the ground. You know, especially not yet. I thought that, maybe some airstrikes and things like that, but no. We've gone straight to boots on the ground while saying, hey, these boots on the ground aren't there for fighting, guys, okay? Yes, it's the middle of the war. Yes, we're in the middle of combat. Yes, there's missiles flying overhead, but we're dropping off all of these Marines to just sit there and look cute, look pretty, take some pictures, and just stand around until, one of you get blown up, and then we use, your death as an excuse to go bomb these people. That's what it looks like is happening right now, if you ask me. But regardless of what my opinion is, the facts are that Iran was backing down. Now they're back threatening, and America is sending troops. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next video.